This video recording is a follow-up to the first recording you should have seen by now, is getting started. This is a recording about Catalyst 9800 series controllers, and we call it 101 series, where we go to the basic configurations, some advanced configurations, and show you how to configure it in a dCloud. This presentation will follow and match closely to the dCloud deployment guide that by now you should have downloaded. And also, by now you should probably have already a session scheduled, as you were instructed to do in getting started a recording. And you have everything ready to start configuring the Catalyst controller. So as mentioned, it's going to be a series of recordings for different features, configurations on a Catalyst controller. We're going to have in this series a total of 5 scenarios and possibly add some additional in the future. But we're going to start now with scenario 1, which is a basic WLAN design and how to create WLAN, its basic security parameters, and how to connect the client to the WLAN. So it's just kind of very simple and fast configuration. So in this exercise, we're gonna follow the steps as defined here to set up a basic WLAN. So we're gonna start by defining a location. Then we're gonna create and apply WLAN to that location. We're gonna map the created WLAN in the step before to the VLANs that are already preset on the controller. Then we're going to provision an IP that's also already connected to this controller to that WLAN. And then we're going to define the DHCP server for the wireless clients. We're going to review this configuration. And finally, we're going to test that connectivity with the wireless client in remote connection. So we're going to start this basic configuration by clicking on this icon and choosing this basic option here. Before we go into actual demonstration how to configure it in live mode actually on a controller in dCloud, a couple additional housekeeping kind of details. First of all, the VLANs already pre-configured on the controller in the dCloud. So as you can see, there are SVIs that defined as switch virtual interfaces. And as you can see, there are 3 VLANs that are defined, and each VLAN given name, one for employee, guest, and management. So when we create WLAN, we're going to have to map WLAN to one of these VLANs, or we can map it to a group of VLANs. In our case, we're going to map the WLAN that we create to management VLAN 11. Also, we're going to set up a DHCP server. So just kind of for your information, where we got the IP address, if you look at your dCloud network design, you'll see that there is a Active Directory server that we have and set up already in dCloud. And when you click on the servers tab here, you'll see that this server AD1 has an IP address of 198.18.133.1. So that's going to be our DHCP server for the clients. When they connect to the network, they will get IP addresses from this DHCP server. Okay, let's connect now to the wireless controller in the dCloud. We already know that this is the IP address, the public IP address of our controller. We enter username and password, and we click on login. Once we log in into the controller, as you can see, we're running the Catalyst 9800-CL, meaning it's running on VM platform, and it's release 17.3. On the left side, we present it with a menu. And as you can see, this is our dashboard presentations. Here we can see that we have actually right now no WLAN configured, everything is 0, but we have one access point that's attached to the controller. As I mentioned in the getting started section of video recordings, we have one AP connected from the remote side to this controller. And if we click on that AP, you'll see that actually what I have here is a Catalyst 9100 Series 9130 AX AP connected in my remote site with this IP address. And right now it's running these default site tags, policy tags, and RF tags. So really nothing is configured on that AP. It's just running all defaults. Going back to the dashboard, one other quick tidbit on configuration. If you can see in release 17.3, we added this guided assistance tab. So if you're doing it for the first time, if you click on this guided assistant tab, you'll see different options that show you how, for example, configure AAA. Or if you click, you'll see that you can configure 802.1x authentication, and it gives you instructions step by step. A local web authentication, again, instructions step by step. So that's kind of a nice addition in 17.3 release. We're not going to follow these steps. We will follow steps as they are depicted in the cloud deployment guide, and we're going to just follow step by step and configure all the parameters as you instructed to do so in the deployment guide for the dCloud wireless configuration that by now you should have already downloaded. So before we actually go to start configuring basic WLAN, one other piece of information that I would like to show you is actually that VLAN that I mentioned before that already created. So if we go to configuration VLAN, as you can see, we have these SVI already pre-configured, as I mentioned, and these VLANs are already have names, employee guest management, and as I mentioned, we're gonna map the newly created WLAN to this management VLAN as it's instructed in the deployment guide. So let's go back to the dashboard, and we're gonna start with creating our basic WLAN configuration. So again, we're starting with this icon on the top. We click, we have these options presented, and we choose a basic configuration. Once basic configuration is clicked, we click on plus add. We will be presented here with these different tabs to configure WLAN, General, Wireless Network, IP provisioning. So let's start with General and first enter the location name. We'll call it Pod 1 location as indicated in the guide. And the same here for description. We're gonna enter Pod 1 location. And we're gonna leave the location type as local and client density as typical. Next, we're going to click on the Wireless Network tab. And here we also click on Add. And here we're going to go and define a new WLAN. So we click on Define New and Profile Name. So we're going to create profile name. We'll call it Pod1-admin. And SSID will be the same, Pod1-admin. Okay, again, we're following the deployment guide. That's what they're telling us to do. We enable this WLAN, okay, and we make sure that broadcast SSID is also enabled. Next, we click on the security tab. And here we're going to choose WPA2, WPA3 for layer 2 security. And we scroll down, make sure the WPA3 policy is disabled. We leave the encryption as AES CCMP 128. Make sure uncheck 802.1x. We're going to use PSK for authentication key management. So we click on PSK and keep scrolling down. And over here, we're going to enter the PSK key. So we're going to call it Cisco, just as it is instructed in the deployment guide. Now that we enter that, we click on Apply to Device. and we get this pop-up here that configuration successfully applied. So now we have this WLAN pod 1 admin SSID created. Now we have to define and map how we're gonna map to which VLAN we're gonna map the just newly created WLAN. So as we said in a previous slide, that we're gonna map it to the management VLAN. Okay, we're not gonna create here any ACLs or QoSs. We just make sure that this WLAN has central switching, central DHCP, and central authentication and association. Again, we still gonna have to go in the next step and define this DHCP server. For now, we just click here on head. And as you can see, we have created this pod 1 admin wireless network. The next step would be to actually map this pod 1 admin that we created to the AP. So we go next to this tab called AP provisioning. And as you can see, we showing here this MAC address of the AP that I have set up in my remote site. And that's, as you know, it happened to be my Catalyst 9130 AX AP. I click on that AP and I click on this error icon. Make sure that this AP is going to be provisioned. As you can see, AP with this MAC address is now provisioned to this location that we created. After we have this provision and we see the status is joined, we click on apply here. And after we see this configuration successfully applied pop up, we can see that we have a pod 1 location created. For now, it's still showing that there's joined AP0, but after a while, it's going to refresh and show that there's AP is connected to this pod 1 location. The next step, we're gonna go and create and set up the DHCP server for our wireless clients, and we're gonna connect wireless clients. Okay, you see now that after a second, the dashboard refreshed itself, and now we're showing that there's a one joined AP. So as we said earlier, let's go now and configure the DHCP server for our wireless clients. So we go to configuration, and we go to this text and profiles tab, and here we choose a policy. As you can see, the pod 1 location WLAN ID policy is automatically created during the basic configuration. So we click on this policy and we go to advanced tab here on top. Click on advanced tab, and as you can see, there is a section where we configure the DHCP server for the client. So we'll click on IPv4 DHCP server is required. And as you recall from the beginning of this presentation, we said that we have a DHCP server running on Active Directory server, and its IP address is 198.18.133.1. Okay, so this is basically all we need to do on this tab, advanced tab. We just update and apply to the device. So configuration successfully saved, and now we have a DHCP server with DHCP pool available for our wireless client. All we have to do is now connect our wireless clients and to this WLAN we just created and see how they operate. Okay, we're switching for a moment to our Mac laptop client device in the remote site, and as you can see, we have here a Wi-Fi enabled, and we have here's the pod 1 admin that we configured is being advertised, and it's presenting us with the password. So as you know, we created WLAN pod 1 admin with password Cisco. So we type in Cisco. Let's show it to make sure that it's correct, and we join this network. Okay, as you can see, we now joined pod 1 admin, and if we open network preferences, we can see that we connected and we received an IP address from our management VLAN, which is 198.19.11.12. Okay, we're switching back to our controller dashboard, and as you can see, now we're showing here we have 2 active clients. So actually connected 2 laptops to in my remote site to the WLAN Pod 1 admin. So if we click on this, you can see that we have 2 active clients. They both connected to this ID Pod 1 admin. And if we click again, we get additional information about this client. As you can see, you can get all kind of statistics about this client connected with WLAN. If you click on General, again, a lot more information available about client connectivity. So as you can see, both clients, they received the IP address from the management DHCP pool. So again, if we go back quickly and look at VLAN, you can see that our management pool is VLAN 11 198.19.11.10. So that's where our clients receiving this IP addresses. That's basically it. That is our basic WLAN configuration. And as you can see, we have 2 clients connected. We have, if we go back to the basic setup, we created this location, Pod 1 location, that shows now that we have 1 joint AP and 2 clients. And that's the end of WLAN basic configuration in the D Cloud.